Hey, church family. I know that we have all been trying to navigate these last few months the best we possibly can. With this virus, it has caused a lot of things to be different in our world, and one of those, probably I feel like maybe one of the most difficult parts of it, has been we've not been able to gather as a church here publicly to worship together. And so if you haven't heard by now, the elders have made the decision that June the 28th, we are opening the doors to First Christian Church. But I think we also all know, as we've been trying to navigate this new world that we live in with this virus, especially, not coming to church has been difficult, and it's required changes. And so there's going to be some changes when you come back on the 28th that you'll see. And we feel like they're good changes, things that we need to do to be safer. With that said, I also understand that there may be some of you that say, hey, even with all the changes, we're just not ready yet. I'm not ready yet to come back to a public setting. I want you to know we understand that. We're okay with that. We get it. And that is why we're going to continue to provide for everyone from here on out our live stream services. We've been working every single week and will continue to work to tweak those to make them better and better and better, so you can feel as much a part of the church as possible via the live stream services. So that will continue on from here on out. So enjoy those if you're not ready to come back to church yet. We totally understand. Or maybe you want to come back to church, but you're just not ready to serve yet, and maybe some of the positions you were serving prior to the COVID-19 virus. We understand that as well. Just let us know. Again, there's no one going to be made to feel guilty. We just want to be here for one another and work through this together, navigate this all together. So now I want to make sure that I give you very specific instructions on exactly what we are proposing, what we're going to be doing. And let me just say this. We're doing our best to make this the cleanest, safest place we possibly can. But there's a risk involved, and we want to make that very upfront, and hopefully we all understand this together. There's a risk every time we leave our household, anytime we go to a restaurant, every time we go to work, every time we go to the grocery store. There's a risk involved, and we are by no means saying that with these things that we're implementing, though we do believe it's going to make us safer, cleaner, more sanitized, all those things, we're by no means saying that it's risk-free at First Christian Church. There's a risk involved in any place we go in our world right now. And so with that said, here are some of the things that we're going to be doing that are new here once we open on the 28th. One of the things we've done is we have added hand sanitizing stations at every single one of our entrances, both of our main entrances when you walk into the church. We've added one at the beginning of the line in Generations Cafe in here. We've added one at the beginning of where the line will be for Kids World and where all the kids will pass by, as well as workers, and also in our youth building as well. So that's one of the things that we've done. The other is we've added extra hours to our cleaning services. Those extra hours are specifically for them to go in and clean and disinfect anything and everything that hands touch. And so we've increased those hours. They're going to be doing that both before and after every Sunday and Wednesday service that we ever have here at First Christian. So that's another hopefully comforting thing for you to know. We are taking that seriously and implementing those measures. We're also, though we are not requiring anyone to wear a mask, we are providing masks. And so those will be available at both of the main entrances when you enter. Anyone that is requiring one of those or wanting one of those, we will be more than happy to supply you with that. But you do not have to wear a mask in order to attend First Christian or any of our services here. We're also placing signs throughout the building, for instance, in our restrooms, just kind of promoting and making sure everybody knows the importance of washing your hands and doing our best to keep all of our hygiene the cleanest and safest that it possibly can be. We are also no longer going to be using our bulletins. It's one of the CDC's recommendations, and we agree with that. And so we will not be having paper bulletins anymore. And so we are moving to a digital format of that. You'll be able to go on our church app and access a digital form of our bulletins, as well as you'll be able to see every week, every Tuesday when our e-news comes out. We will have that information available to you there as well. So you're still going to be able to get the same information you did, just in a different way, in a safer way than handing out bulletins to everyone. We have designed a new way of doing communion here at the church, a safer way, a more, I guess, a cleaner way of doing it. We are going to be providing sealed communion cups with the bread in them. You will be able to pick these up when you enter the worship center, as well as during the service when we get to our communion time. If you've forgotten to do that, there will be a time for you to go and to grab one of those. But then you'll have your own sealed communion to take whenever you feel ready during our communion time as a church. Of course, we've already changed the way that we do offering, so we'll continue to do it that way. We have our black boxes in the back of the auditorium that you can put them in anytime you'd like, as well as you can give online. We have asked all of our Generations Cafe volunteers to have their temperature taken prior to serving, as well as wear gloves when they're serving. Again, this is to provide a little extra level of protection as we navigate this whole new process. And yes, we are going to continue to serve all of the same amazing food that we've always served in Generations Cafe. Now, as for Kids World, this is a big one. This is one of those ones that I know a lot of parents are wondering, a lot of grandparents are wondering, and take this very serious, and so do we. So we have thought through this a lot. We've prayed about this a lot, and this is the changes that we're going to be making. And I'll say this up front as well, parents, grandparents, anyone that's bringing kids to the church, please, please, please be patient with us, be understanding, realizing we are doing our best to take care of our kiddos and protect them, keep them safe, all those types of things. But we're going to need you to be flexible. As you hear some of the things we're going to be putting into place, you'll understand a little more what I mean by that. But we all just have to kind of do our part right now as we, again, navigate this new normal that we're living under during this time of this virus. So one of the things we'll be doing is we will be requiring all of our Kids World volunteers to have their temperature taken before they begin serving, so we know that that's safe for our kiddos. We will have already disinfected and will continue to disinfect all of our Kids World areas before and after our services. We've also put some new practices in place that will limit sharing of certain materials and toys and different items like that. And to make that happen, as you know, kids will be kids and they're going to want to kind of just get back to normal and doing things normal. We realize we're going to have more adults involved to try to help them to know how to do this and to watch and to kind of be able to have our eyes more on each and every kid. So to do that, we are setting a new child to adult ratio in all of our age groups. And this is going to give us the opportunity to provide a whole lot more supervision of our little ones and to help them, again, be as safe as possible. So I want to also say this, since we're doing that, and I'll give you those ratios in just a second, since we're doing that, we're going to need more people to volunteer than ever, more adults to volunteer in our Kids World program. And so if you already do that, maybe you just don't serve on Sundays normally. If you wouldn't mind, reach out to Miss Jen, let her know, hey, I'd be glad to help out on a Sunday as well to make sure that we can have enough adults so we don't have to limit that space for our kids. Now, again, that is a possibility. If we have only so many adults, we can have only so many kids. So this is where the flexibility comes in. There may be a time where you show up and we don't have enough adults to kids ratio for any more kids at that moment. At that point, we would ask you to please take your kiddos with you into the worship service for that Sunday. Again, we're working hard and hopefully we're gonna have enough volunteers this won't be an issue, but we wanna address it up front and let you know it is a possibility that could happen. And again, this is why we need everyone to volunteer. And if you're saying, I've never volunteered in Kids World, but I'd be willing to, because I want to help make sure that we've got enough volunteers, the way you do that is you can just go to our app and you can click on Connect and sign up. And there's a form in there, and that form it says sign up, or it says serve volunteer form. So you click on that, you fill it out, and we'll get that form. There's different things you're gonna need to do as well to be a part of our Kids World program that we've always had in place, which is there's gonna be a background check that's gonna need to be done as well. And then we can get you plugged in and in the right areas to help. So if you're interested in that, please reach out to us through the app and fill out that volunteer form. Also, these ratios is something that we've read a lot of stuff, and we've kind of brainstormed a lot of stuff, and this is what we've come up with that we feel like is the safest way to do this. So here's the ratios for the different Kids World areas. First of all, our nursery is going to be a 1-to-2 ratio. That means for every 2 little ones that we have in there, there will be 1 adult. For our pre-K kids, is going to be a 1-to-5 ratio. For every 5 kids, there will be 1 adult. K through 5th grade, for every 10 kids, there's going to be 1 adult, so a 1-to-10 ratio. And again, we're asking our parents to please be patient and understanding as we navigate this. We're truly trying to do what is best for every single person. Now, there's a couple other things I want to address that both we're doing and not doing as we move forward. First of all, we are not going to require social distancing and asking people to remain 6 feet apart. We don't feel like there's any way for us to police that, nor do we feel like it's just conducive to be able to do church. So we will not be requiring that. We will not be putting markers and signs in place to instruct certain directions to walk and not walk. We're going to leave that up to our church family. And then we are not limiting the size of our gatherings for our adults. As you just heard, we are going to be having a kid to adult ratio for our Kids World areas, but that's because, again, we want to be able to supervise better. We want to help them make good choices. But for our adults side of things, there is no limit to our gatherings. And we feel, and when I say we, the elders, the staff, that you have the right to choose. So we're giving you guys that opportunity. For instance, if you choose to stay home and you want to watch our services online, again, we get it. We totally understand that. If you don't feel comfortable eating in the cafe, we totally understand that. No one is going to hold that against you. There's just not going to be any guilt from any of us or any dislike toward anyone. I want to stress that so you understand that no one is going to look at you and because maybe they see this differently, treat you any differently. And that's our goal as a church. So finally, this is kind of brings up this other major issue that I want to address and talk about. And that is that we're putting something into place that is super important, that we all get behind, that we all support, and that we all are knowledgeable about and understand. We're going to be providing a special lanyard. Matter of fact, it's going to look like this. This is just an early version, but it'll look very similar to this with this lanyard. And if you can't read this, what it says on the actual card here is, no hugs or handshakes, please, for our health or the health of others. Many people are navigating a different COVID-19 virus situation than others, meaning they may live with someone who's elderly, they may live with someone who has an immune system that is very compromised, and so, or it may be themselves, it may be a myriad of other reasons. So we just want to make sure we are respectful of them. So if they're wearing one of these, we are asking everybody in our church to respect that, but not to avoid them. We don't want to ostracize them because they have one of these on. What this means is this saves them from having to say, hey, please don't hug me, please don't, give me a high five or a hand, or go to shake my hand, because it makes it very hard for them to keep saying please don't, and it makes them feel bad. So we want to give them a way to be acknowledged with still waving at them, talking to them, but also respecting them and understanding that their story may be very different than the rest of ours. So that's what this is going to mean. So we're going to have to develop a culture around this that says when we see this, we don't ignore them, but we also respect their wishes. So, and those of you who have one of those, you'll get one of those the first time, and then you keep it. Bring it back each time when you come to church. You can also use it in other places. Maybe this will help you when you go in other public situations. And so, again, we're doing this because many people, this will be their first time maybe to return to a public setting, and we want to give them these kinds of options. I also want to be clear that if you've been part of First Christian for very long, you know that we love to have fun. We love to have a good time here. We joke a lot. It's going to be easy for us to want to joke with our church family. And I would just caution everyone, please don't poke fun at anything like this, because again, already people are having a difficult time navigating, so we don't want to make that harder on them. Even if we're just joking or having fun, let's just be respectful and make sure that we do all we can to love them and understand that they're just trying to take extra precaution. Also, as we're thinking through all of this, just know that if you don't have one of these on, you are free game to be hugged. That people are going to assume that you're okay with giving a handshake or a high five or a hug. So be aware of that as well. You know, the honest truth is this is a new day everywhere, and we're all trying to figure out how to navigate this thing, how to work through all of this. And so we're doing our best as a church to make this happen, to be a healthier place that we can come and we can worship and we can enjoy each other. And we have to understand even what Scripture says during all of this, right? I mean, Scripture is very clear that we are to put one another first. So we should be treating each other that way. We are to be like Christ. And so we want to make sure we're doing that as much as we possibly can in every different situation, and especially in times like these. So I'm asking all of us, no matter our stance on any of this, to be kind, to be understanding, and to offer love to one another. You may think, and we know this because, you know, we've seen things on social media. We've talked to other people in our families and other people at work or whatever it may be, and you may think this whole COVID-19 thing is just no big deal. You don't even care about it. It doesn't faze you. You know, that's up to you. That's an opinion you're welcome to have. Or you may be someone who thinks that the COVID-19 thing is a huge deal and that we need to be taking this even more serious than what a lot of people are taking it. And you have every right to have that opinion. But regardless, what we're asking as your leadership is that we'll all do our part to be respectful of each other's opinions, and love each other in spite of it, and respect one another no matter what our stance is on this. So the elders and I are asking that we all make the commitment to abide by these new guidelines, to be respectful of everyone as we can. But let's also get back to church. Let's also come back together, and let's worship together for those of us who feel like you're okay with coming. And those of you who are not, again, enjoy it from home. Stay connected with us through our live services and the information that we'll be putting out through social media. I can't wait. I can't wait to see you guys in person again. And I know this is probably going to drum up a lot of questions. I'm sure I've not answered every single question that you have. So if that's the case, feel free to reach out to us. You can email us at info@onefamilyoneFocus.com. And any questions you have about the reopening, how we're doing things, questions maybe I didn't answer in this video, we'll do our best to get back to you as quickly as we possibly can, with the best answer we possibly can. But again, this is going to take all of us just being willing to be flexible and to say, you know what, we're going to do our best to navigate this and maybe adjust along the way as needed. But it's super important that for those of us who can and would like to come together, that we come back together and worship together. So I can't wait to see you on the 28th. Until then, you'll be safe, and reach out to us if you have any questions. I love you guys.